Why am I worried about the opinion of someone who isn't helping me grow?
Ooh.
Why am I worried about the opinion of someone who isn't helping me grow? And not in the direction that they want me to go, but in the direction that I want to grow. You know when someone is really like down for you and you know that they're a good friend or a good family member or whatever, when they don't help you fulfill their agenda or the agenda that they want you to have. It's when they help you fulfill your own agenda, your own dreams, your own desires for yourself. When they can help you reach that place, that's how you know that they're a good friend. That's how you know that it's someone that you should have in your life, because they love you enough to allow you to chase your own dreams without their opinion tainting it. And so when you're worried about what people are thinking about you, you have to come from a place of, is this someone who is a genuine friend to me that's actually concerned with helping me get to where I'm going? Not where they want me to go, but where I'm going. And if they're not that person, then why should you care? Why should you care about what they think?
Without black, there cannot be anything else.
Hello, gods and goddesses. Welcome back to another episode of the Black and Abundant podcast. We are your host. I am Nia. This is my king, Jamal. And this podcast is all about talking about all things Black abundance.
Yes, sir.
So how can we elevate our people in every area of their lives? So what's up?
What's
How are
good?
you?
I'm glad to be here. I'm good. I feel good. How about yourself?
I'm feeling great. Y'all peep this new setup. Can we just acknowledge how dope this setup is and the hard work that Jamal and I had to go through in order to make this happen? These are pieces of wood that we have glued to the wall.
Yeah, you can't just tell the secret.
What? I need them to understand the hard work that has gone into this setup. And if you are not watching this on YouTube, I need you to go subscribe to our YouTube so you can appreciate how amazing this setup is and how much effort we put into making it. So
yeah, we did put in some work yesterday. But it was dope. It was a great bonding experience.
I'm happy that it's still standing. Not one fell off the wall. That's progress. That's a win. That's a win right there.
Yeah, and it's only the beginning. It's going to get better.
Yeah.
I'm excited for what else to come.
I feel like I haven't been on the podcast in a minute. I guess because last week we had a guest.
Yeah.
Or last week we didn't have a podcast, but then the week before we had a guest. So I feel like I haven't been on here in like a month.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So, hey, I miss you guys. Miss you a lot.
Yes, sir. I hope y'all missed my beautiful face. I know I look
They
good.
just
Y'all
saw
see
you. They just saw you.
that?
But anyway, be expecting more guests, more great conversations, more storytelling. Black and Abundant is about to go up. I mean, it's been up, but it's about to go to a whole nother level.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you for tapping in with us and thank you for being a part. We are so grateful to have you guys a part of the family.
For sure. Appreciate that support.
Anything else before we dive into this topic?
No, I'm ready to get into that thing. Lead it. Let's go.
My mind went straight to the gutter, but okay. It's okay.
Oh my God.
It's all right. All right. So today I wanted to talk about, what did I want to talk about? What was it?
Starts with a J.
J?
Judge.
Judging?
Yes.
I was like, juxtaposition? I didn't know what you were spelling. Judging. Okay. What we wanted to talk about was...
What the fuck is a juxtaposition? Can somebody pull out a dictionary?
More word of the day with Jamal. I don't even remember what juxtaposition means. I feel like I learned that in like AP English in high school at some point.
I don't know. But yeah.
Anyway, judging people. So let's take this full circle because I wanted to talk about this topic for a couple of reasons. One, we've talked about this before, this idea of being outcast because of the way that we live our lives, the way that we carry ourselves. We're constantly put on the outside of what's normal to people or what's average, and we tend to separate ourselves from the masses. So we talked about being an outcast and standing out from the crowd, but then also we came across this moment that happened to us a couple weekends ago where we recognized that we're in no position to be judging nobody.
Right.
We judge folks all the time, and yet we're in no position to judge anybody. So do you want to tell the story before we dive into it?
Go ahead, do your thing.
Okay. So a couple weekends ago, we were at a wedding.
Yeah.
And this wedding, so as you may have heard in former podcasts, we used to be in a business, and that's how we met each other. It wasn't a network marketing business, but it was a network marketing business.
Oh, straight up.
And that's how we met each other. But we were in that business for an extended period of time, and in that time, we created such a family with these people, and a lot of them we're still close to. So this was an opportunity for us to be around people that we see as family, even the people that we haven't necessarily talked to in a long time since we decided to part ways with that business. And it was a very interesting experience because we haven't seen them in years. And being honest, being completely transparent, bluntly honest here, it's a lot of the same couples that we were used to seeing back in the day. And at some point or another, we judge the heck out of those people. We judge their relationship and the couple as a whole. We wondered if they were ever going to last or whatever. And when we were at the wedding, we actually became one of those couples that people would judge. So y'all know us. Y'all know that our relationship is solid. Well, I hope you do. And if you don't, whatever. But y'all know us. Y'all know our relationship is solid. However, just like any relationship, we have our moments. And we had a moment.
And we showed our ass at the wedding. And I'm so embarrassed, bro.
I know, same. Especially when you're around couples that you judge. It's like we went into it with the intentions of being like, yeah, babe, we're on one accord. Like, we're that couple. We got our S together. Like, everything's straight between us. And then we get there and it's just like, we can't get on the same page. So, long story short, we got into an argument. And it's because Jamal can tend to be a little lame sometimes. I love you. I love you.
Proud lame.
I'm a very outgoing person. Like, back in my partying college days, I was like the center of attention type person when I go out. And I'm always dancing and having fun. And when I went to this wedding, it wasn't necessarily that I was trying to be the center of attention by any means. I was just chilling, dancing, having fun with our other friends. But like I said, we have a lot of couple friends. So like the couples would be dancing together and I'm dancing by myself with the couples. And in my head, that's ridiculous because why am I dancing up here like I'm the single friend and I'm engaged? Yeah. So it made me feel some type of way. And I approached Jamal about it, but he was just like, he wasn't feeling it. He didn't want to be a part, all that. And I don't even want to bring back the argument up because we figured it out between ourselves. So it doesn't necessarily matter. But for the point of this podcast, all you need to know is that we argued at a wedding and it went bad. And it's not like we were yelling in front of folks or anything. It was just the people who knew about it knew about it. We didn't make like a scene or anything like to distract from the wedding, but the people who were involved knew what was going on. So it was very embarrassing from our perspective to be around all of these couples and we're the couple that can't get it together. Right. So we had a conversation that night and Jamal was just talking about how embarrassed he is and how he didn't want to necessarily be around them because he's embarrassed by what happened. And I was saying, you know, just like how now we understand we were never in a position to judge these people in their relationship, they are in no position to judge us in our relationship. And it just kind of brought up this conversation of why we even judge other people and what other people have going on, and how we're in no position at all to do so. Even if we did have everything together, you never really know what's going on with a couple or with a person behind closed doors outside of a particular instance or a circumstance. But all we do is judge folks. We see them slip up one time, or they have an argument here, or they say something wrong there, and all of a sudden we judging their whole life, their whole relationship, their whole character, when we're human. And the same thing happened to us.
Hold up. Now, I know you ain't listening to this podcast and your credit is jacked up. Nah. The goal here is being black and abundant, not black and limited, because we both know that there's only so much you can do with a jacked up credit score, right? I know you're tired of getting denied. So what I need you to do is head over to start.jscocapital.com and book a free credit consultation with us right now. And let us come up with a game plan to get your credit right. I do not care what's on your credit. It can be collections, bankruptcies, charge-offs, late payments, you name it. We'll get you right. So once again, that's starts.jscocapital.com. All right. I'm looking forward to talking to you soon. Now let's get back to the episode. First of all, well explained story.
Thank you.
Good job. And everybody that's listening right now, please share your comments. The question is, why do we judge in the first place? Why do we judge? So let's definitely unpackage that. I personally believe that whole experience at the wedding was the best thing that not only could have happened to me, but for our relationship, because it taught us something. It taught me something. It taught me that, number one, judging is stupid. And two, who am I to judge other folks? Because we're all human beings out here trying to figure this stuff out just like everybody else. Nobody got it perfect. Nobody has the right blueprint. Everybody out here trying to do their best. And along that journey, you're going to mess up. You're going to do wrong. You just don't know what you don't know. But the beautiful thing about life is it's about growth and learning from your experiences. So why is it that we judge other people as they going through their life, and we catch them at whatever moment in their journey doing either good or wrong, and we feel like it's our place to judge them because we think that we're better than them in some way, shape, or form, or we think that we're in a better position than them in some way, shape, or form. Even if we are, it's still not our place because we're all human beings.
Right. And
that was the realization that I had. And, you know, our goal here is to come onto this platform is to be transparent and honest with the audience. Like,
right.
I'm be the first to tell you, y'all, like, I'm not perfect at all. And I don't desire to be perfect, but I do strive for excellence, but imperfect excellence, right?
Yeah.
And, man, I come here humbly saying, like, y'all, I don't got it all together. I don't. I hate it. I hated that, man, just realizing that I'm judging folks, bro. It's stupid. But, like, let's unpack it, you know, go into why we do that.
Right.
So
I know biologically the reason why we judge folks in general is because we do it in order to protect ourselves. We do it to basically draw conclusions from little information. We draw conclusions from little information so that we can make better decisions in order to protect ourselves. It's more of an instinct thing.
That's the good side of it.
Right. Mm-hmm. So judging is instinctual.
Okay.
However, we're not in the wild anymore. Mm-hmm. We don't necessarily, I mean, of course, there are times where we have to tap into our instincts and we have to prejudge people. Like if we're out on the street and someone looks sketchy, we have to prejudge them in order to protect ourselves. Right. But we've taken it to a whole new level by bringing it into our personal relationships. And that's not necessarily the best thing to do at all times.
Right.
And sometimes it's good. Sometimes we look at couples who argue all the time and we're like, maybe we don't want to associate with that couple because what can that do to our relationship? You know, and yes, we are judging them in that circumstance, but in order to protect ourselves, our relationship, and our energy. But judging has its place. And I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily know that distinction. And you have to give people grace. You have to learn how to give people grace. If it's like a one-off thing, then maybe that's not the time to judge folks. But even then, okay, there's a difference. There's a difference.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there is you're judging someone and you're using that as an excuse to judge their character and who they are, but you have no type of relationship with them to begin with. Or like you're judging people that you're close to in order to better understand where you stand with them, if that makes sense. So like people on the internet, for example, why are you judging them? They have nothing to do with your life or like your well-being. People that you have no close interactions with, why are you judging them? You know, and then the people that are close to you, maybe instead of taking the negative seat of judging, dive deep in to figure out what it really is.
Yeah.
So judging has its place, but you have to ask yourself, are you judging like with negativity in your heart? Or are you judging in order to make an informed decision for your own life? Are you judging just for the sake of being a butt? Or are you judging in order to make informed decisions?
Yeah. I'm really glad that you took it that way, because as you was talking, I looked at it that way, but I didn't pinpoint it. So there's different types of judging.
Yeah.
And it's very important right now that we distinguish the different types. So, what was the type of judging that we were doing?
I mean, it was negative.
Yeah.
It was that we were looking at these people's relationships and we was just like, they ain't gonna last.
Yeah.
They toxic for each other. You think they're gonna work out?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he need to get with somebody. You know, like it just wasn't. Why do we feel the need to think that we know everything about their relationship?
Right. And you know, there's people out there that are saying the same thing about our relationship, but it goes vice versa. Why? Why do we feel the need to do so? Like, why is it that we feel the need to do that? What does that say about ourselves as human beings?
What do you think?
I think that it's a form of hate and envy, and a form of like insecurity in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
That's what I think. Why?
Elaborate.
Because think about it. If you truly love yourself and you truly are in a space where you're not worried about nobody else, you focus on you and yours, you're doing the necessary inner work to heal, and you focus on your bag, whatever that may be, your vision, your dreams, your goals, you won't even allow that type of energy and thinking into your space. Because you're just operating from a higher level. Right. You're not even allowing that type of low frequency energy into your space. You're not worried about them. You're gonna stay in a space of judging from the place of instinct and like learning, instead of judging to put them down so you can make yourself feel better about yourself. Right. And that's what we do. We do it to make ourselves feel better about ourselves, because in some way, shape, or form, we hating. But why do we do that?
And I want to elaborate on that, is that I feel like another thing is that we think that we know best.
True.
We be thinking we know best for everybody, and that's not necessarily the case. Like, I think about my family, for example. I be judging the H out of my family, you know? Like, I be judging the heck out of my family. And I have to recognize that I just want them to be happy. It's from a place of love. Like, I genuinely want them to be happy. And I see what they're doing in their lives, and I'm like, I'm judging you because I just want you to be happy. And I know that your decisions aren't creating happiness in your life, and that makes me mad. But at the same time, who am I to think that I know what's best for you? Who am I to think that I know what's going to make you happy and what's going to make you better? Or if you, who am I to make those decisions for you? And who am I to judge where you are in your life right now? Maybe you can't make those decisions for yourself right now. Right. But who am I to judge? Because I've been there. I've been there when I wasn't making the best decisions for myself. So I feel like it's also ego. Not only are we trying to, and in a way, that is thinking that you're better than somebody else by thinking that if you were in their position, you would make better decisions. But you've never walked in their shoes.
You never walked in their shoes, so you don't know. Spot on.
So how can you really judge somebody's actions and judge somebody's decisions when you don't know? You don't, even if y'all came from the same womb at the same, even if y'all were twins, you still don't know what it's like to be them and in their position.
Yep.
So who are we to be so egotistical that we think that we're God?
That's very humbling. That is very humbling right there. That alone should be the reason why we should not judge people, because you don't know their day-to-day life. You don't know what's in their minds and their thoughts. You don't know their story. You don't know. So we're just going based upon what we see on the outside, but you don't know what their life is behind closed doors. And that alone, which is outside of our control. So it's a form of control as well, which is bad.
Yeah.
Like, we out here trying to control people. You know, place some type of control over their situation to make yourself feel good about you. You know, and that's stupid, bruh. It's very stupid.
But
yeah,
okay, so okay, I just got like this explosion of thought. You talked about control and how people use judging you as a form of control, and I was thinking they use that against you. They use that as a weapon against you in order to control you. So for example, this idea of being an outcast, this idea that people are going to disown you, or you're going to be left outside of the group or the whole or whatever if you do not conform to what they want you to do. So I think about all the stuff that I went through with, you know, my sorority and everything, and how a big part of why I never wanted to speak up, or a big part of why people don't want to speak up about those certain things, is because they don't want to be outcasted. They don't want people to remove them or disrespect them within their organization, because they join the organization in order to feel belonging. So they don't want to be removed from that, because now you're an outcast, and all people want to do is belong.
Yep.
So that fear of being judged is just a way to control you into falling into what the masses are doing, because you don't want to be outcasted. I'm sorry, I had to get that off before it left.
That's real. Keep going. Keep diving into that.
Well, do you have anything else to say on taking the seat of the judger? Because I wanted to look from the perspective of the person being judged now.
No, I think I'm good on that. Let's take it to the next one.
Okay, so from the perspective of the person who is being judged, because I feel like we deal with this fear a lot. I know that we've had a lot of conversations about this. And like I said, the whole thing that I was going through with my sorority, like I went through a period of feeling hurt and deep inside. And I still feel that. Because nobody wants to be outcast.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be put on the outside. Nobody wants to not fit in. And that's a hard thing to accept. But until you conquer that fear of being on the outside, you won't have any type of control over your life. And that's what was happening, is that I allowed my fear of being judged by others to govern my actions and my decisions, when who are they? Who is that to even matter? I hate talking about this because I ain't got time to be dealing with people drama and everything, but it's just the perfect example. I can't not talk about it. But anytime that I get upset and I'm like, dang, I don't talk to my chapter, or I don't talk to them anymore, and I feel like I don't have a relationship with them, a part of me looks deep within myself and I'm like, but you never had that before you even said anything. Before you even spoke out, you never had that relationship to begin with. So what are you really losing here? It was the idea of belonging.
The idea. Spot on.
You're so afraid of being judged by people who you don't even have, they don't care about you. You don't even have a relationship with them, but you allow your decisions to be swayed by the idea that you may be judged by them. But they're not even relevant in your experience. But it's the idea that, dang, somebody don't like me out there. Dang, somebody don't think I belong. Dang, somebody talking bad about me out there. But who cares? Who are they? Are they affecting your experience in this life? Are they affecting you getting to your dreams and your goals? If they're not, then who are they? Then what's the point of being afraid of being judged by them?
Real. That's real spill. I believe that this fear of being judged is linked to our lack of love of self. I honestly believe that because, like you said, think about it. At the end of the day, it's the idea of something. At the end of the day, these people got their own lives. They're not gonna do anything to you. At the end of the day, they got to go home to their family. They got to pay their own bills. They're gonna go to their bed. They got to live their life. But why is it that we give so much energy and power to this idea? Because we're afraid of being outcast. We're afraid of being to ourselves. We want to be apart so bad. We want to be loved and liked by these other people that we give our power away to these people. And we allow these people to dictate who we are in some way, shape, or form. That when we're in a situation where that is, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word on top of my head. When that is tainted in some way, shape, or form, it scares us. So that's what I honestly think that's what it is, bro. Like it's a lack of self-love in ourselves. So my question now is, how do we get our power back? Because now on the other end, on the other side, because it's people that's going through, like their life revolves around the approval of other people. Wanting to be a part of something because it makes them feel good. It makes them feel like they mean something. And that's what people are looking for. They're trying to find meaning in other people, in these relationships with people, where that's a dangerous place. That's a dangerous thing. You're basically giving your power to other people. At the end of the day, they don't really give a damn about you. They may say that they do to a certain extent because the relationship is friendship, but at the end of the day, they got their own lives.
Right.
Because everybody in some way, shape, or form are dealing with some type of insecurity, some type of envy, hate, where we all are. And we're in this pool of just lost people trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And we all giving our powers away to other people at the same time. But by us doing so, we're saying like, hey, we are at the expense of you judging me. You see what I'm saying? So now that we realize that, on the other side, how do we avoid that? How do we free ourselves? How do we let that go and realize, like, at the end of the day, like, it's not that deep. Like, you and me being just like me, we all trying to figure it out. It's really more freeing when you let go of this idea. So how do we get to that place?
Before we go there, I want to stay right there for a second.
Okay.
And just like where that's coming from, because this is trauma.
Trauma. Yep.
This is trauma.
Just roll with it. Just roll with it. You know, we're not going to say why she's laughing.
I'm sorry.
If y'all figure it out, we'll give y'all free merch. But you got to DM us and figure out why she laughing. But until then, continue.
That was great. That was so great. Either way,
That snort though.
I'm sorry, baby.
So goofy.
I'm sorry. I done lost my whole train of thought. That threw me all the way off. Okay,
you wanted to stay there for a bit because
trauma.
Yeah.
Trauma. Okay. So, at what point do you put yourself over the opinions of other people? At what point do you put pleasing yourself over pleasing other people? So I believe that this idea that we must please other people in the way that we live and the decisions that we make, that's trauma. And believing that we have to do something that does not align with who we are in order to belong, in order to fit in. And I feel like I dealt with this a lot as a child because I was so different. Both of us, we were like the black sheep. Like, it was just, we were always so different. And so we always had to change who we are in order to fit in with the people around us, instead of accepting the fact that we were different and just finding people who we could vibe with. We tried so hard to fit in with people that we thought were so cool or better than us because we weren't comfortable in who we were and the fact that we're different. And that's a form of self-hate. That's a lack of self-love there, thinking that we have to change in order to fit in with a group of people. When in reality, why do we even want to fit in with people who aren't in alignment with who we are?
Bruh, I realize at the end of the day, like the coolest thing is when you are ballsy enough, bold enough to create your own lane and be yourself, defining yourself amongst the masses. While everybody else is going this way, you have the power and the self-love and ability to go this path and be yourself. I respect anybody out here that's doing that. The one that's out here that's wearing the crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? I be thinking like, damn, okay, the one that got all the tattoos and just choosing to be their own canvas in this world in some way, shape, or form. Like, I respect that so much because, like, you basically got to say, I don't give a fuck about y'all. I'm going to do me. I'm going against what society tells me, whether y'all like it or not. I admire those people, bro.
And I feel like we're starting to become experts in that because we recognize that if we are like how everybody else is doing, we're just going to get to where everyone else is. And that's not what we want. Like, one thing I have to remind myself, and maybe this sounds a little egotistical, but it is what it is because it works. But one thing I have to remind myself is, why am I worried about broke people opinions? Why am I worried? Because if you had money, like if you were wealthy, and I'm not talking about mommy and daddy money wealthy. I'm talking about you created your own, which is what we're doing. Like, if you're wealthy, you're not judging us.
Right.
Because you understand. You've reached a level of understanding and maturity that you're not judging us. It's only the broke people. It's only the broke people. And I told Jamal, like, you know, if I had money, I wouldn't be caring about what they say about me.
Yo. In the midst of that, what came to me is that it's because they're lacking something. They think they're lacking something. There is this lack thing. You think you're going to find that thing that you're lacking in somebody or something else. So it's a form of a lack mentality.
I think about the crabs in the bucket analogy.
Yeah.
Like, they all crabs stuck at the bottom of the bucket, and so they're just trying to pull you back to where they are. But why? Why do they feel the need to pull you down?
And they use the power of judging to keep you there.
That fear of judging.
Damn. But yeah, back to the wedding. No, that wedding experience was a great self-check. It checked us. It checked me. And you need those in your journey of life.
Yeah.
If you're committed to a life of growth and just elevation, like I said, it's not perfect. But when you have those experiences, it's an opportunity for you to take a look at yourself in the mirror and go inward and be like, you know what? Check yourself on that, bro. Yeah. What you doing, man? You know that ain't right. Here's an opportunity to become aware and change that about yourself so you can free yourself. Free yourself, because that's the goal is freedom. Freedom, not judging people from a place of lack and negativity and insecurity, and being aware of that is a form of freedom within yourself. You no longer have to worry about what they think about you or think that you're better. Really take some time to think about that. Does it make sense for me to think that I'm better than somebody else? Well, we're all in this same predicament in this world, in this game called the United States of America, where things could be taken away from you just like that.
Right.
Who am I?
Yeah.
It's really crazy when you think about it.
We ain't figured it out either.
We ain't figured it out. We are figuring it out, but we still got some ways to go.
Yeah.
So I think what's going to help us on the journey that we're on, like, bruh, this judging stuff is stupid. But we need to judge from the positive instinctual, I'm making up that word, instinctive place, because we need that. It's a skill. It's a positive skill. But that whole judging from a place of lack, we need to let that go like right now because it's not serving us.
It's not.
So
it's not. And even on the other side of the fear of being judged, you got to let that go as well. Because at what point are you going to start living your own life? And at what point are you going to start making decisions that have nothing to do with what everyone else thinks about you, and genuinely because it's going towards what you desire for yourself and your life and your family and your dreams?
Bro, I think about a specific family member, you know who that person is, but literally dedicated their whole life to living below their potential because of the fear of being judged by other people. And people live like that every single day, where they're literally one decision away from living and being their best self and living their best life. But they just so messed up in the mind. They're afraid of what other people think about them, that they would rather live below their potential and play it safe than taking a chance on themselves and freeing themselves from the opinions of other people. People live like that every day, and it's so sad.
I was talking to someone today, and I was telling her, like, she was saying that life has been hard. For the past few years, life has been hard. And she's just been in this place where, like, she has a good job. She's stable. Everything's good. It's just something is missing within her heart that she can't wake up excited every day. And I was telling her, you just need to do something crazy. You just need to take a risk. Like, just do something different. If what you're doing isn't working, then do something different. And she was like, well, it's been ingrained in her mind her entire life. Like, taking a risk like that is dumb. You know, putting your faith in somebody else is stupid, or stepping out into a place where you may not be as stable. That's crazy. That's dumb. But I'm like, okay, so what is not doing that? How's that serving you? How is that going for you?
Right.
Like, if you do something crazy and do something risky and you uproot everything and just try something different, of course people are going to judge you. Of course people are going to have stuff to say about it. But at the end of the day, are they helping you?
But you know why people are going to judge?
Why?
Because the majority of the masses are living in a place of fear, and they don't have the courage to do the thing that you're thinking about doing, which is taking a risk or taking a leap of faith and doing something bigger and better than with your current predicament, because everybody's like that in some way, shape, or form. So by you choosing to bet on yourself, it's basically you holding a mirror up to those people and saying, like, hey, I'm doing something that you know that you should do, but I have the courage and you don't. So what you're doing is judging to make yourself feel better than me, because judging makes you feel good. So if I can judge you to potentially bring you back here, you're not going to win. You're going to stay here where I'm at. So people project their fears and insecurity onto other people to keep you down, so you won't expose them.
That was key.
Yeah.
So you won't expose them. That's the whole thing about the crabs in the bucket thing. Like, they don't want you to make it out, because then they can no longer make excuses as to why they can't make it out.
There you go. Because when you make it out, you eliminate the excuse. Because people live their lives full of excuses. It's sad.
Yeah, it is sad. So now that I feel like we didn't uprooted all that, we didn't talked about every way as to why you could even judge people or fear being judged in the first place. So now what do we do about it?
Simple, not easy. Stop judging. Stop judging from a negative place, from a place of lack, to make yourself feel good. That's not okay at all. What does that say about you and your character? You got to check yourself, look yourself in the mirror and be like, yo, what's in me that I'm feeding that makes me feel good to do so?
Yeah.
If you feel good judging other people from a place of lack, you got some more growing to do.
A lot of growing.
You got a lot of growing to do. You don't got it figured out. You still got some ways to go. And it's an opportunity. It's not, you can look at it as a bad thing, or you can look at it as like, hey, it's another growth opportunity for me. Let me go inward and figure this shit out.
Yeah.
So I would say, and you know when you're doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm calling y'all out now. If you're doing this right now, stop. It's not serving you. You're robbing your own happiness. You're robbing yourself of the possibility of obtaining freedom within yourself, because that should be the goal. You're robbing yourself of a life of abundance. You're operating from a place of lack. You got to ask yourself, this may be why I'm getting the results in my life that I got right now. This may be why, like, look at your life. If you're not where you desire to be internally and externally, that could be a big reason why.
Yeah. So
check yourself before you break yourself.
Before you wreck yourself?
Oh, wreck yourself. Oops.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So
what do you think?
remember when I spoke at Auburn, and someone asked me, they were like, how do you stop caring about what people think? And my answer was, I'm still figuring that out myself.
Me too.
I'm still figuring that out myself, but I believe that it's the little reminders. It's the little reminders. Why am I worried about the opinion of someone who isn't helping me grow?
Ooh.
Why am I worried about the opinion of someone who isn't helping me grow? And not in the direction that they want me to go, but in the direction that I want to grow. You know when someone is really like down for you, and you know that they're a good friend or a good family member or whatever, when they don't help you fulfill their agenda or the agenda that they want you to have. It's when they help you fulfill your own agenda, your own dreams, your own desires for yourself. When they can help you reach that place, that's how you know that they're a good friend. That's how you know that it's someone that you should have in your life, because they love you enough to allow you to chase your own dreams without their opinion tainting it. And so when you're worried about what people are thinking about you, you have to come from a place of, is this someone who is a genuine friend to me that's actually concerned with helping me get to where I'm going? Not where they want me to go, but where I'm going. And if they're not that person, then why should you care? Why should you care about what they think? If you're making decisions that are going towards where you want to go in life and somebody has a problem about it, that's their problem.
It's their problem. Yep.
And the people that love you, if they see that you're making a decision that isn't going to where you want to go, then they'll check you, of course. But if not, then you have no reason to listen to them.
Yeah, you gave the answer. And I feel like there's nothing more to really say about that. But I just want to encourage y'all that's listening, understand what it is. Like, be mindful of the different types of judging. The positive judging, where you use it as an instinct to make sound decisions. And then the negative judging, where the 99% of the people do, is they judge from a negative place, because it's a form of control.
Yeah.
It's a form of control to keep you in your place so that you won't progress to get to your better self. So they have to judge and place their opinions onto you, make you feel some type of way, and you get it, make you get in your own way of you reach your next level, so that you won't expose them. Because think about it. Majority of people are operating and live their lives from a place of lack. Which also means insecurity. They're insecure in some way, shape, or form. So they place their identity onto other people. And the moment that you decide to go be yourself, to go and do better things, you're leaving them. You're deciding to elevate. So they'll do anything to keep you down, to keep you from like just going forward. But you got to be aware of that. But a lot of people, they so trapped in that crabs in the bucket. They're so trapped that they don't see that. But I want to encourage y'all, man. Like, see it for what it is. The best thing that you can do for yourself while you live in this life is be yourself, set yourself free, and do the work every single day to let go of this fear of other people's opinions. And to this day, I still care. I honestly think I'm never going to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But it's how you got to find that balance, bro.
How can you make intentional decisions to go against the way that you feel? So let me elaborate on that. So I was talking to someone earlier about their self-love journey. And I was saying that at the beginning of your self-love journey is identifying what you feel like is best. So you know that you want to be someone who's confident. You know that you want to be someone who makes decisions that are in their best interest. You know that you want to be someone who only fosters relationships that are beneficial and that elevate you. You know that that's the person that you desire to be. However, you understand right now that your trauma is holding you back from doing so. So, for example, after we broke up, there were parts of me that wanted to run back. My trauma wanted to reach out to you. My trauma wanted to go use sex as a way to cover up the pain that I was going through. My trauma wanted me to go use drugs as a way to cover up the things that I was going through. But I had already decided within myself, the woman that I desire to be wouldn't do that. So even though I feel drawn to do that, I am intentionally making the decision to not do it because I know that the woman I desire to be wouldn't do it. So circling that back around, we're always going to care what people think. However, we understand that we want to be people who don't care what people think. Therefore, we have to make decisions like the people who don't care what people think. Even if we do care, we have to make decisions like we don't. That's the only way that we're going to be able to overcome and get to be that person. We got to fake it till we make it.
That's a bar. Nah, that's a bar. Oh my God, that's a bar right there. Because your higher self, your next version self is there for a reason. And you're operating down here thinking that the way that you do right here, which is a person that just cares so much about what people think. You're here for a reason. And until you let that go, you're never going to get to your next level. You got to think differently. You got to let go of other people's opinions. Your higher self, 9 times out of 10, is not going to care about what other people think, because your higher self is your higher self for a reason, which is everybody is operating their lower self. But your goal is we all have that desire. We all see the person that desire who we truly desire to be. It's always there. But we never reach that because of right here. I see what you're saying. That's a huge bar. So
we gotta act like them.
We gotta act like them. Like that's the only way to get there.
A big part of what I talk about, like in my book, and just helping people navigate through trauma, is that you have to identify who your higher self is. You have to identify in explicit detail who your higher self is. And then every time you come across decisions, even the little decisions, you have to ask yourself, would my higher self do this? I'm not asking if my lower self would do it, because we know what my lower self would do. My lower self has been doing it. Naturally, I'm going to do what my lower self wants me to do. But how can I become so self-aware that I understand who my higher self is, and the decisions that I'm making aren't in alignment with that?
Right.
That's the key.
Bro, but you know what's the crazy thing?
What?
Majority of people don't even know who their higher self is or what their higher self looks like.
That's
what that
why
person
you always
is.
gotta start there. Who do you want to be? Who do you desire to be? What is the life that you desire to live? If you take all the judgment, the labels, what people are going to think about you, if you take all that crap away that doesn't matter, who do you want to be in the life that you desire to live? That's always the first step. Anytime I work with anybody in my books, like the first step, who do you want to be? What is the life that you want to live? Because a lot of people can't even get past that step.
Yeah. Magic questions. The most beautiful questions you can ever ask yourself, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's lit. That's what's up. I definitely was a student today.
What?
For sure.
You
I
added
learned
some bars as well.
Nah, it ain't even about that, bro. It's like, I knew that I was going to come into this conversation and just be a student, learn a thing or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 from you. And you have some beautiful insights.
You didn't really just dap me up.
Dapping gang. But yeah, for everybody that's listening, I hope y'all learn a thing or two. Like, really take this seriously. You got one life to live, man. Let that judging stuff go. And fear is a ugly weapon that average people use, also elites use, but that's a whole nother conversation. But honestly, I think fear is the what's it called, invisible hands that's controlling people's lives. And I encourage you to dedicate the rest of your life to mastering fear.
Yeah.
And use it to your advantage. So, anything else you want to add before we peel out this thing?
Nah, we Audi 5000. I'm finna go eat some pasta.
Hey. Hey. All right, take us out of here.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to another episode of the Black and Abundant podcast. If you have not followed us already, I am at by Nia Love. He is at Jsco the producer. You can follow us at Black Abundant, because Black and Abundant was taken because they suck. Black Abundant on Instagram and Black and Abundant on TikTok.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we will see you next week. Peace.